In this lesson, we're going to take a look at setting up outcomes in order to help you track student learning mastery in the standards or skills for your course. To do this, you will open your Canvas course, find outcomes in the navigation, select outcomes, and on the outcomes page, there are a list of options. The outcome button will allow you to add your own skills, learning standards. The group page button will allow you to create a folder that houses skills or standards that'll be assessed around a similar topic. So maybe one skill, you want to make sure how it applies to, say, research skills, versus you're going to assess that same skill, but you want to see how it applies in writing, a specific type of writing. You can import your own skills or standards, or you can select Find to find preloaded standards. If you select Find, it will show you a folder titled Account Standards. You will select that. Then you will select Edmonds School District. You will select Washington. And here you will find the Common Core standards and GSS standards, along with others that have been preloaded. I will select the folder that I want. And then from here, if it has additional subject areas or categorization, it will take you there. So for this, I'm going to select on English Language Arts. And then here, I will see the grade level and the type of standards. Once again, these are still folders, so they have those outcomes housed in them. I'm going to pick one of the outcomes or one of the folders, and I'm going to keep on selecting these folders until I get to a set of outcomes or learning standards. You will notice them by the fact that they have a little target next to them. Once I find one of those, I can click on the target. I can see at the top what the goal is or the standard. I can see the grading scale, what's identified as mastery, and how it's being calculated. And it explains that calculation right in the section below and gives you an example of that. With these ones, you are not able to edit, but you will be able to if you create your own. So we'll look at that piece next. If I want to use this, I can select Import. I select OK, and it puts the outcome in this left column. This left column shows which outcomes have been attached to your course for learning mastery grading. If you would like to add your own outcome, instead of using the preloaded ones, you can select Outcome. You can name the outcome. So put a title or skill number. It's up to you how you name it, but so it's clear what's being assessed. You can add a student-friendly title if you want. Describe the outcome. This is where you can explain what it means to be at mastery or standard. Once you have described the outcome, you will scroll down and you will see the criterion ratings. Here, you can edit the title of these ratings by selecting the pencil. You can change the title. You can change the amount of points. You can also insert a new rating or criterion. And you can identify what it means to reach mastery. So you can change the mastery level here to mean 3 or 4. What does it mean to be standard? Then you can choose the calculation method. The default calculation method is decaying average, but there are a total of 4 options. Whichever option you choose, you will see an example of that option and how it's calculated in the space below, and some will allow you to edit a piece of it. So decaying average basically weights the most recent assessment on that skill or standard more than all the previous assessments. For number of times, it basically means the person has to reach mastery or exceed it a certain number of times, 1 to 5 times, before it is actually calculated as mastery. Most recent score, it looks at how the student was assessed most recently, whatever they received on that skill. And highest score, most recent, looks at whatever the high or the most recent score looks at this assessed skill and takes the most recent score they received as the indication of whether they're at or below mastery. The highest score looks at the highest score they've gotten on that skill. So whether it was at the beginning of the year, end of the semester, it doesn't matter. Whatever that highest score was, that's what will be taken as mastery. So it is your choice to decide how you want this to be determined. Once you've made that determination, you will select Save. When you choose the calculation methods, the Common Core, the preloaded standards are actually set to the highest score as being the calculation method. If I want to group these standards or outcomes together, I can select Group, and I can name the group. So maybe it's informative writing, because I want to look at skills and how students do with informative writing. I can describe the group overall, what it is, and then select Save. If I want to add another group, I can select Back. So it puts me back on the main page. I will select Group again, type in the new name, so maybe argumentative writing. Once again, describe the group and select Save. So now I have a folder here. And if I have standards that I have listed here that I would like to move, I can move those standards into one of those folders by selecting the course and then one of the folders and selecting Move. It will pull that standard up into this folder now. I can also go into a folder and create the outcomes directly here, or find outcomes that are preloaded. You can have the same standard in each of these groups. That is fine. When you look in the Learning Mastery Gradebook and when you assign and assess those standards, that's where you will see these kind of clumped together then for these groups. So the next part is using these standards to assess learning.